Okay, so let's jump right in. When I say the words self-defense, what's the very first thing that pops into your head? For a lot of us, it's probably some big, flashy fight scene from a movie, right? Well, what if I told you that that entire picture is basically a myth? Today, we're gonna dig into a philosophy that completely redefines personal safety, pulling it out of the world of Hollywood and into our actual, everyday lives. You know, this quote from self-defense educator Chris Spencer really just hits the nail on the head. That version of martial arts we see on screen, the one that's all about cool-looking moves and making violence seem heroic, it's not just a little unrealistic, it's actively misleading. It builds up this huge myth that actually gets in the way of learning what real personal safety is all about. And that's the big question, isn't it? If the goal isn't to become some action hero, then what is it? What does real-world, practical self-defense actually look like? So yeah, let's dive in and explore what that reality is. So the first and honestly, the biggest myth we've got to bust is this idea that self-defense is all about the physical fight. The truth is, if you actually find yourself in a physical fight, a lot of things have already gone wrong way before that moment. True self-defense starts long before any punches are thrown.
Yeah, this is the core of the whole misunderstanding. The goal isn't to win a fight. The goal is to avoid one in the first place. This isn't a sport where you're trying to score points. It's a set of life skills designed to keep you from ever getting into that dangerous situation to begin with. This whole philosophy really treats safety as a mental game first, and it's built on what's called the 3 A's: analysis, assessment, and anticipation. Okay, think about it like this. Let's say you're walking to your car at night. Analysis is you noticing that one corner of the parking lot is really poorly lit. Assessment is seeing someone just kind of lingering over there. And anticipation, that's you deciding to take a different, well-lit path. See? You've completely avoided a potential problem without a single physical move.
And to make this super concrete, let's look at something we all do, probably without even thinking about it. A simple handshake can actually give you a ton of information. And in some cases, it can be a really subtle way for someone to try and control you. In one of his demos, Chris Spencer shows how a normal handshake can suddenly turn aggressive. Someone might crush your hand or try to pull you off balance, but the response isn't to match that force, not at all. It's to calmly create a little space, break the contact, and de-escalate. The goal isn't to start a fight, but to just calmly ask, hey, is there a problem? It's about controlling the situation, not overpowering the person. And, you know, this whole idea of being proactive with your safety, it leads us right into the next myth we need to talk about. And this one is all about fitness. We're so often told that being fit means being the biggest, most muscular person in the room. But this philosophy, it just completely flips that idea on its head. It all comes down to why you're training. On one hand, you've got the typical commercial gym culture, which is often driven by how you look, by aesthetics, by insecurity. It's been called a sea of disconnected bodies. But on the other hand, you have functional fitness. And here, it has nothing to do with how you look. It's all about what you can do. The focus is 100% on building competence and skills for the real world. So, functional exercise is all about training whole movements, not just one muscle at a time. It mixes in dynamic disciplines like parkour. And no, we're not talking about jumping between buildings. It's about using the principles of parkour to build practical skills like balance, coordination, and spatial awareness. You know, things that are absolutely critical if you ever need to navigate a physical threat. And that brings us to the third big myth, the idea that you have to pick one single ancient martial art and then spend your whole life mastering just that one thing. But let's be real, in our modern world, the challenges we face are rarely that simple or predictable.
The problem with seeing a traditional martial art as a cultural antique is that, while beautiful, it's preserved in time. It hasn't necessarily evolved to deal with modern problems. A truly progressive system has to be able to adapt. It can't be locked into a rigid tradition that was designed for a different world hundreds of years ago.
And this is where a system like Lee-Kan Jitsu is so fascinating. Just look at this mix. It isn't just one thing. It's a modern, hybrid system that completely breaks down those silos. It blends the grappling from jiu-jitsu, the fluid movements of kung fu, the agility of parkour, and even the psychology of NLP, that's neuro-linguistic programming, which is all about communication and influence, plus modern risk management strategies. It's all about grabbing the best tools from a bunch of different toolboxes. And the name itself, Lii-Kan, pretty much tells you the whole story. It comes from the ancient I Ching symbols for fire and water. And that's exactly what it is, a fusion of hard styles and soft styles, of being aggressive when you need to be and yielding when that's the smarter move. That balance is the absolute key to having a system that's flexible enough for the real world. So let's tie all of this together. If self-defense isn't just about fighting, and fitness isn't just about looking good, and one single style can't possibly have all the answers, then what's the big takeaway here? Well, it all boils down to one really simple but super powerful idea. The entire approach is built on this concept of experiential and borderless learning. So what on earth does that mean? Well, experiential is just a way of saying you learn by doing, through direct hands-on practice. And borderless, that just means tearing down the artificial walls between different skills and areas of knowledge, whether it's martial arts, parkour, or psychology. And all of this leads to the core motto of the whole philosophy: sound in body, sound in mind. This isn't just about being ready for a physical confrontation. It's about developing a kind of holistic resilience, a mental and physical harmony that helps you handle not just a potential threat, but pretty much any of the challenges life throws your way.
So, when you get right down to it, true personal safety isn't a product you can just go out and buy. And it's not a technique you can just memorize from a book. It's not a destination you arrive at. It's a skill, an ongoing practice that you have to actively develop through awareness and action.
And that leaves us with one last question to take with you. If safety really is a skill, not a thing you own, what's one small thing you could do today, right now, to start practicing it? Maybe it's just paying a little more attention on your walk home, or maybe it's just thinking differently about a tough conversation you need to have. The practice can start right now.
By experience, we shine so bright.